Hello, my name is Dan Flanagan, Vice President of Maintenance with Bulkmatic Transport. Today we're going to talk about pre-trips, specifically brakes, lights, and tires, B.L.T. So today we're going to go over a few things that you should be looking for when inspecting the brakes, lights, and tires. Now let's talk about brake lining. Brake lining is very important to make sure that the vehicle is going to stop properly. If you use this tool right here, this tells you how much what the minimum brake lining is supposed to be on your brake shoe. So if you take your brake lining and you measure it with the tool, then you can see if you have the correct amount of lining. You also have a ridge on here that tells you by the manufacturer when the brake lining is down below the point where they need to be changed. But it's also very important to use this right here, flashlight. You need a flashlight even during the day to check for cracks. Now let's look at the brake lining on the trailer itself. Brake lining right here, make sure that we look and measure it if we need to, if you think it's low. Also check for grease and oil contamination. You're looking for wheel seal blown. You're also looking for the drum condition. The drum condition, make sure it's not cracked through. Heat cracks are okay, but if the drum is completely cracked through, it needs to be reported. Also check your brake chamber, which is right here. Make sure it doesn't move. It should be there tight, but also make sure your brake lines, like right here, are not chafing. And as you can see, these lines are touching one another. They cannot chafe. That is a violation. Also, while you're under here, if you have your brake valve pushed in, you can also check for audible leaks in your brake system. Now we're going to look at the lights. When you turn your lights on, turn your flashers on and make sure all the flashers are working properly. Keep in mind, just because your flasher is working does not mean your turn signal is working. You have to check them separately. You also have to apply the brakes and check your brakes to make sure your brake lights are working properly. Check all your marker lights and your clearance lights. Also keep in mind, you have cab lights, the marker lights on top of your cab. We've had a couple of those that burn out, and a lot of drivers don't check those, so make sure you check on top of the cab. Also, if you have ABS, this particular trailer doesn't have ABS, but the ABS light will be located over here. Okay, right now we're going to check the tires. Keep in mind, most of the problems that are found with tires are either flat or they have an audible leak. So if the inspector walks up, he can actually hear the tire leaking air. When we're inspecting the tire, make sure you check the outside of the tire. On the sidewall of the tire, check for exposed fabric, cuts in the tire, or bulges in the tire. If you see any of that in any of the sidewalls, keep in mind you need to look in this sidewall, on both sides of the tire, and on the inner tire. Check the rim all the way around, make sure the rim is not cracked. Check your lug nuts to make sure all the lug nuts are tight and there's no cracks there. Also check, while you're down here, the level of oil for your hubcap on your hub. Also check the cat eye. If the cat eye is closed, you're good. If the cat eye is open, it's bad. And you need to get it checked because you have an air leak. Come over to the front of the tire, to the tread, and make sure on either the trailer or the tractor, you have at least 4/30 seconds tread left on the tire. If you don't, then you need to get the tire in to get it repaired. Make sure you check on both sides of the tire. That's it for our inspections. B.L.T, brakes, lights, and tires. It's very important. Make sure you check them out. Make sure you write them up. Thank you.